Welcome back to Oxford 4000 Essential English Words, Episode 20. I'm your host, Emma.
And I'm Frank, your learning partner on this journey. Emma, it feels like we just wrapped up our last episode, and here we are again. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
It certainly does, Frank, and it's always a pleasure to be here with you and our wonderful listeners. I hope everyone's had a productive week.
Absolutely. I've been practicing the last batch of words, trying to use them in my daily conversations. So, what's on the menu for today? What new words are we diving into?
I'm glad you asked. Today's list is quite a mix. We have harden, further, network, cheese, alarm, disadvantage, cat, blame, rescue, and ugly.
Wow, that is an eclectic collection. From cheese to disadvantage, and then a cat. I'm very curious to see how we connect all of these. This should be interesting.
That's the beauty of language, Frank. The most unrelated words can find their way into a single story. Before we get into our word by word deep dive, a quick reminder to all our listeners.
That's right. If you're enjoying our show, please take a moment to save this episode, give us a like, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next episode. Your support helps us create more polished content for you.
Perfectly said. Now, are you ready to start with our first word?
Ready and waiting? Let's go.
All right, our first word is harden. As a verb, it means to become or make something firm, stiff, or hard. In Chinese, we can understand it as 使变硬.
So, like when you leave bread out on the counter for too long, it will harden?
Exactly. That's the physical sense. For instance, the clay will harden in the oven. But it also has a metaphorical meaning. It can mean to become less emotional or sympathetic. For example, his heart began to harden after so many disappointments.
Ah, so it can be about emotions, not just physical objects. You might say someone's attitude has hardened, meaning they've become more strict or unyielding.
Precisely. You could say the government has hardened its stance on this issue. It shows a change to a more resolute or severe position.
That makes sense. It's a very descriptive word.
Let's move on to our next word further. This one is quite versatile. As an adverb, it means at or to a greater distance or degree. In Chinese, that's 更远地 or 进一步地.
I often hear people get confused between further and farther. Can you clarify that for us?
Of course, it's a common point of confusion. Traditionally, farther refers to physical distance. For example, I can't walk any farther. Further, on the other hand, is used for metaphorical or non physical distance. For instance, we need to discuss this matter further.
So if I'm talking about moving a project forward, I'd say, we need to take this project one step further, not farther.
That's it exactly. Further can also be an adjective meaning more or additional, like in, do you have any further questions? And it can even be a verb meaning to help something progress, as in, he's trying to further his career.
Got it. So let's investigate further for more investigation, and he lives farther down the road for physical distance. That's a great distinction.
Excellent. Next up is network. As a noun, it's a group or system of interconnected people or things. The Chinese equivalent would be 网络 or 人际网.
Right, like a computer network, a television network, or my personal favorite, a social network. He has a wide network of friends.
That's a perfect example. We also use it as a verb, meaning to connect with other people to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. For instance, I need to network more to find a new job.
Oh, networking. The word that strikes fear into the hearts of introverts everywhere. But it is super important. I went to a conference last week and tried to network with people in my field.
I hope it went well. It's a key skill. You could say, she is very good at networking at parties. It's all about building that web of connections.
It did, thanks. Now what's next on the list? Is it cheese?
It is indeed cheese, a very straightforward word. It's a food made from the pressed curds of milk. In Chinese, it's nai lao.
I don't think this one needs much explanation. I'd like a ham and cheese sandwich, please. Or maybe just say cheese when taking a photo. Does it have any other interesting uses?
Well, in informal slang, cheese can refer to something cheesy, meaning it's overly sentimental, melodramatic, or inauthentic. But the primary meaning is the food. This wine goes well with that cheese. Simple and delicious.
My stomach is rumbling already. Let's move on before I get too hungry. What's after cheese?
Our next word is alarm. As a noun, it can be a warning sound or signal, or a feeling of fear or anxiety. The Chinese translation is 惊爆 or 惊恐.
So my alarm clock wakes me up in the morning. That's one meaning. I set my alarm for 6 o'clock. But what about the feeling?
For the feeling, you might say, the news filled her with alarm. It describes that sudden sense of danger or panic. We also have the phrase a false alarm, which is when you think something bad is happening, but it isn't.
Ah, like when I thought I lost my keys, but they were in my pocket the whole time? It was a false alarm.
Exactly. Alarm can also be a verb, meaning to make someone feel frightened or worried. For example, the strange noise alarmed the residents.
That's a useful word. Let's hope we don't have too many reasons to use it in its anxious sense.
Agreed. Let's look at the next word, disadvantage. It's a noun that means an unfavorable circumstance or condition that reduces the chances of success or effectiveness. In Chinese, you could say 劣势 or 不利条件.
So it's the opposite of advantage. For example, one disadvantage of living in the city is the lack of green space.
That's a great sentence. You can also use it to talk about people. He was at a disadvantage because he couldn't speak the language. It implies someone is in a weaker position compared to others.
Is it any different from drawback? They seem similar.
They are very similar and often interchangeable. Disadvantage can sometimes feel a bit more formal or emphasize a competitive imbalance, while drawback is more of a general negative aspect. But in many cases, like your city example, you could use either.
That clarifies it. It's always good to know the subtle differences.
It is. Okay, our next word is another simple one, cat. It's a small domesticated carnivorous mammal with soft fur, a short snout, and retractable claws. I think everyone knows the Chinese for this one.
Mao, my favorite animal. I'm a total cat person. There are so many phrases with this word. Let the cat out of the bag, meaning to reveal a secret, or it's raining cats and dogs.
Those are great idioms. For a simple sentence, you could just say, my cat loves to sleep on the sofa, or the cat watched the bird through the window.
Simple, yet effective. Cats are everywhere in language and life. Let's move to the next word before I start showing you pictures of my cat.
Good idea. Our next word is blame. As a verb, it means to assign responsibility for a fault or wrong. In Chinese, it's 责备.
Don't blame me for your mistake. That's a common one. It can be used as a noun too, right? Like, the blame for the accident lies with the driver.
Yes, exactly. As a noun, it signifies responsibility for something bad. You can take the blame, put the blame on someone, or shift the blame.
So if I made a mistake, the honorable thing to do would be to take the blame, not to shift the blame to my colleague.
That would be the professional and right thing to do, yes. For example, he took the blame for the team's failure. It's about accepting responsibility.
Got it. A word with a lot of weight. What's next?
Next, we have rescue. As a verb, it means to save someone or something from a dangerous or distressing situation. The Chinese translation is 营救. As a noun, it refers to the act of saving someone.
Like firefighters who rescue people from burning buildings, the lifeguard had to rescue the struggling swimmer. I also hear about rescue dogs or rescue cats.
Yes, that refers to animals that have been taken from a bad situation and are up for adoption. We adopted a rescue dog from the shelter. The noun form is often used in headlines, like a daring mountain rescue.
So you can perform a rescue, and you can rescue someone. That's clear. We have one word left, right?
We do. Our final word for today is ugly. It's an adjective that means unpleasant or repulsive, especially in appearance. In Chinese, it's 丑陋的.
An ugly monster is the classic example, but it's not just for looks, is it? You can talk about an ugly situation, can't you?
Absolutely, that's a great point. It can describe behavior or situations that are morally offensive or threatening. For example, the argument got really ugly, or it was an ugly rumor.
So if two people are having a nasty fight, you could say things are turning ugly. It means the situation is becoming unpleasant or even dangerous.
Precisely. It's a very strong word to describe more than just physical appearance. And that's our last word. Before we move on to our dialogue, let's quickly remind our listeners to save this episode's word list, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified about our next set of 10 words.
Great idea. Don't miss out, folks. Now I'm excited to see how we put all these words together.
All right, Frank, let's set the scene. Imagine you and I are neighbors in an apartment building, and there's been a bit of a commotion. Let's start.
I'm ready. Let the curtain rise.
Frank, is everything all right? I was woken up by a loud alarm from your apartment.
Oh, Emma, I am so sorry. It was a false alarm. My cat Mittens managed to trip the smoke detector. I think she was trying to get to the cheese I left on the counter.
Oh dear. Well, I'm glad it wasn't a real fire. The disadvantage of these new smoke detectors is that they are incredibly sensitive. Is Mittens okay?
She is, but she got scared by the noise and bolted out the open door. I had to rescue her from the big oak tree in the courtyard. It was quite an ordeal.
That sounds stressful. Don't blame yourself. These things happen with pets. You have to harden your heart a little when they cause trouble.
I know, but I can't help but feel a bit responsible. The whole situation got a little ugly. A few neighbors came out and were complaining.
I wouldn't worry about it. We should probably set up a neighborhood chat group or something, a small network to communicate better in situations like this.
That's a great idea. It would help us further develop a sense of community here. Thanks for being so understanding, Emma.
And scene. Well done, Frank. I think we managed to squeeze them all in.
We did. We had the cat setting off the alarm for some cheese, which was a disadvantage. Then the rescue mission, trying not to blame anyone, and the ugly situation with the neighbors. We even had a plan to further our community with a network and a need to harden your heart. Perfect!
It shows how even the most random words can come together to tell a story. Now, let's move on to our practice segment.
My favorite part. It's time for our Chinese to English translation challenge. I'll give our listeners a sentence in Chinese using some of the words we learned today. You'll have 5 seconds to translate it into English. Ready?
Let the challenge begin.
Okay, here is the first sentence.
不要因为这个丑陋的结果而互相指责，这对我们双方都没有好处，反而是一个巨大的劣势。
I'll start the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time's up. Frank, what are some good translations for that?
A good direct translation would be don't blame each other for this ugly result. It's a huge disadvantage for both of us.
I like that. You could also say putting blame on each other for this ugly outcome is a major disadvantage for us. Using putting blame as a noun phrase works well too. The key is to capture the idea of a negative, ugly result and the disadvantage it creates.
Exactly. The core is don't blame an ugly result leading to a disadvantage. Well done to everyone who tried. Here comes sentence number 2. 他们必须强化决心，利用他们的人际网络，共同从危机中拯救这家公司。Your 5 seconds start now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that's time. This one feels very business oriented.
It does. A great answer would be they must harden their resolve and use their network to rescue the company from the crisis.
Harden their resolve is a fantastic collocation for 强化决心. Another option could be to rescue the company from the crisis, they need to harden their determination and leverage their network. Using leverage is a nice synonym for use in a business context.
Very true. The core vocabulary here is harden, network, and rescue. Both translations work perfectly. Okay, last one. Let's see how you do with this. 我的猫无意中触发了警报，我需要进一步调查，看看它是不是又想偷吃奶酪。Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That sounds suspiciously like our dialogue earlier. I think our listeners are ready for this one.
I hope so. A solid translation is, my cat accidentally set off the alarm and I need to investigate further to see if it was trying to steal the cheese again.
That's spot on. You could also phrase it as, I need to conduct a further investigation because my cat triggered the alarm, possibly while trying to get the cheese. This version uses further as an adjective before investigation.
Both are great. You've got cat, alarm, further, and cheese, all in there. Excellent job, everyone. I hope that practice was helpful.
I'm sure it was. And that brings us to the end of another episode. But before we go, let's give our listeners a little taste of what's to come. In our next episode, we'll be tackling resistance, tube, nearly, recent, procession, room, boring, amaze, stack, and scholar.
Ooh, another interesting list. I'm especially curious about procession and scholar. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can join us for that discussion. Your support truly means the world to us and helps us keep making these episodes.
It really does. Today we learned a great set of words, from the emotional harden and blame to the very practical network and cheese.
And let's not forget our little drama with the cat, the alarm, and the rescue mission. It just goes to show you can find a story anywhere.
You certainly can. Well, Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to Oxford 4000 Essential English Words. Until next time, keep practicing.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a great week.